Have you ever noticed that people often remember you only when something is missing in their lives, but rarely when something is missing in yours? That realization usually arrives late at night when everything is quiet and you begin to question your own worth. This story begins with that feeling. In a small, dusty village where life moved slowly and everyone knew each other, lived a 20-year-old boy named Arman. He was an ordinary boy with no big dreams yet, only a habit of saying yes to everyone. If someone needed help carrying crops, Arman was there. If someone wanted to borrow his bicycle, he handed it over without hesitation. If someone wanted to talk about their problems, he stayed and listened, even when his own work was waiting and his body begged for rest. People called him kind and helpful, but no one noticed how every evening he returned home with tired eyes and a heavy heart. His father had passed away years ago, and his mother stitched clothes at home to earn a living. She often reminded him gently that he should focus on his own future. But Arman always smiled and replied, "I will do it later," because later felt easier than saying no to people. One afternoon, his friend Samir came running and asked Arman to help harvest his field quickly before the weather changed. Without thinking twice, Arman left his own small field unfinished and went to help him. That evening, dark clouds gathered and heavy rain fell over the village. By the time it stopped, Arman's half-done crop had been destroyed, while Samir's field was already safe. Arman stood barefoot in the wet mud, staring silently at what he had lost. No one stood beside him. No one said a word. That silence hurt more than the rain. That night he could not sleep, so he walked to the quiet edge of the village. There sat an old man named Hakim beside a dim lantern, someone who had lived long enough to understand life deeply. The old man looked at Arman and said softly, "You look like someone who gives too much and keeps nothing." For the first time, Arman felt truly seen. He whispered, "If I stop helping people, they will stop caring about me." The old man replied calmly, "Those who care only when you give are not caring, they are collecting." Those words stayed in Arman's mind. The next day, when Samir asked him for another favor, Arman paused and said, "Not today. I need to finish my own work." People were surprised. Some felt irritated. Some simply stopped asking him for help. The village suddenly felt colder, and the nights felt lonely. But slowly, something began to change. His work was finished on time. His body rested. His mind felt peaceful. One evening, while drinking tea with his mother, she smiled and said, "You look lighter these days." Weeks passed and only a few people still talked to him. But those who stayed asked how he was, not what he could do. And finally, Arman understood something important. Being available to everyone had cost him himself. Choosing himself did not make him selfish. It simply made him real.